Alright, now I hope everything works. Welcome to a stream that it's technically 8 months late. Is it 8 months? Yeah, I think it's 8 months. A stream that was originally scheduled back in January. But we ended up, or I ended up basically sort of cancelling it. Because this was supposed to be part of the change of year event, I believe. Which ended up getting cut a little short than I had in mind, but anyway, because the stream was still hanging around though on the channel, I figured I might as well just start that, because then I can get rid of that, and then it no longer shows up as a pending stream on my channel. But anyway, so that means that they will be playing the what was the name again? Xianyun chapter, basically. Hang on, where do I need to go? There we are. Interesting that it starts automatically. No, I'm not quite sure. It's possible that we might not start at the very beginning. Where did my tab go? Apparently I did not clean up my desktop as much as I thought I did. Right. So this is where I was trying to be. Yeah, so basically, we aren't starting off quite at the beginning.
Where did she go?
Which actually makes me wonder, I don't actually know where we're starting off. What actually happened? I believe we basically met her at the place where she's usually at. And now we're basically catching up, I believe, with Ganyu now in Liguri, actually. I believe that was the TLDR of the story that we're missing right now, which was like 5 minutes, I think.
If one were to proudly proclaim one's presence, Ganyu would surely profess herself otherwise unoccupied and drop everything to attend to one's visit. One fears that would only result in her staying up all night to make up for lost time. One does not wish to trouble her. Conversing vicariously via you two shall suffice. Do remember to inquire as to her recent well-being. Again, do not mention one's presence here.
Fair enough. Makes sense. Alright then, we'll just pass on your regards and...
Cloud Retainer?
Oh, she spotted us, it seems. Which I guess isn't too surprising. Is she going to run away?
Oh, busted.
Is that lady someone you know, Ms. Ganyu?
She is indeed. I'm sorry, Huixin, but could we delay the upcoming meeting?
Actually, now
for a
that I
little
think
bit?
about it,
I believe my schedule today is quite
I think
full.
this is still the old Paimon, by
wow.
the way.
Perhaps I could move some work
I
to
didn't
later
quite
in the
listen,
evening.
not fully listen to it, but I think it might still be old
Oh,
one.
not to worry, Ms.
I'm
Ganyu.
not
I'll
sure
make the necessary arrangements right away.
how long it'll take them to just like put in all the
Thank
new
you, Huixin.
ones. I doubt they'll be able to do everything within like, what was it, 3 months? Yeah, I think it's still not the old one.
Greetings. What brings you here today? And Cloud
So,
Retainer,
small
too.
flashback
It's
in
been
terms
quite
of
some
Paimon
time
right
since I
here.
last saw you in this form.
Pretend you don't see her, I guess.
You are quite mistaken. One is not acquainted with this Cloud Retainer of whom you speak. One is simply a mere mortal passerby.
Sure.
Seems she's not buying it.
Ganyu saw right through her. Well,
That
obviously
was
there's gotta be a reason
but
if
a
she
simple
shows up.
test. One did not expect you to be able to recognize one so easily, especially after so many years of only seeing one's other form.
Ganyu looks totally bewildered. She's thinking, why wouldn't I recognize you? I used to see you every day. How bad do you think my memory
But
is?
recognizing you is, my responsibility
Also,
as your disciple.
some people change relatively, I guess, in a few years, but I don't think she'd be one of them.
An apt observation. One was simply passing by while attending to some important business. One thought it would only be fitting to pay you a visit while in the area.
Wait, Paimon wasn't aware of any important. Oh, Cloud Retainer's right. We've still got something super
Sure.
important to
Paimon
do,
accidentally
so
almost
we
blows
can't
the
stay here for
excuse,
too long
but no
today.
mind.
Oh, is that so? But it's been so long since we last saw each other.
One simply desired to see you and had no intention of interrupting your work. A quick conversation should suffice for today. A more involved reunion should wait until you find yourself less occupied.
I understand. That should be fine.
While one acknowledges the amount of work that you have to deal with every day, one must also remind you to rest. Though Adepti blood flows through your veins, excessive exhaustion will still cause grave harm to your body.
Imagine. But yeah, also
Makes one
taking breaks
nostalgic
makes
to see you as you
sense.
are now, respected and
I'm
independent.
looking forward to chill
When you
in a
were
few
young,
weeks' time.
You oft begged one to cuddle you to sleep when you suffered from nightmares.
Two, actually. Yeah. Right. Anyway.
Cloud Retainer! Stop!
Obviously, Ganyu doesn't want her to talk
If you
about the
insist.
historics
We are
of
running
what
short on
previously
time
happened.
regardless, so one will refrain from going into each and every story. Why don't you continue your conversation? One shall simply stand by and listen.
With Will, I guess, us. There we go. You discussed
Wow.
some of the recent
You've been to
adventures
so
with
many new
Ganyu.
places since the last time we spoke. If you ever need anything, please just come find me at Yue High Pavilion.
When did the story actually release? I believe it was still a while back. Yeah, 4.4, so while Fontaine was happening.
Also, forgive me for my presumptuousness, Cloud Retainer.
So
but if you
technically,
plan to continue
the
appearing
travel
in
has
this
been to
form,
Sumeru and of
don't you
course
think it'd be helpful
Fontaine,
to
and
adopt a human
I
name?
guess they did write it in a way where you could just play it whenever you want and you'd still have the same result basically.
A human name? Huh. You raise a valid point. Considering the sheer extent of one's renown, Cloud Retainer
Oh, is that
surely
how she
too
gets her
recognizable
name?
as a name.
I see, so we're basically seeing how she gets her name in
You
this
really think so?
chapter.
Not that you're not famous or anything, but that famous?
You presume to know the extent of one's illustrious achievements. One would hardly think such a thing to be possible. Nevertheless, Ganyu's advice cannot be ignored.
There we go. So
From this
now
point
here she
on,
basically
when in
picks her
public
own name.
occasions,
Also, I'm
be sure
pretty
to
sure
refer
the
to
term
one as
Cloud
Xianyun.
Retainer is certainly known within the entirety of Lyre.
Xianyun?
Ah, I assume that's a reference to the full record of Pristine Pavilion. An adeptus of years past would rise with the clouds and rest with the moon. They were enlightened and wise, free and unfettered. The writer referenced Master's name to describe her carefree and spontaneous nature.
Oh, that sounds super cool! Paimon feels like only the most powerful of Adepti could rise with the clouds and rest with the moon.
Actually, Those lines were originally written to describe Cloud Retainer herself.
In that sense, it makes sense why she would pick that.
Wait, so you're really that powerful?
Thinking about it, I don't think... Obviously, we know that Inazuma has
And what
his
of it? Did you
book,
truly take
does
one to be
have
nothing
something
more than a
book-related.
bird of bigger than
Leroy also
average
has a
size?
bookstore. Do we have anything like that in, like, later nations, Fontaine, and so on? I don't think so.
Not
We certainly
exactly.
haven't seen it in Nordkra yet, and I don't recall seeing... Well, technically, Zitlali exists. Gatland has something in relating to that. But let's see. Paimon looked away in embarrassment. That's totally what Paimon had in mind.
To be fair, Cloud Retainer rarely speaks of her past accomplishments. The tales of her past can only be found in ancient texts. It is said that once, a long, long time ago, there was a severe drought in Liyue. Left with no choice, many people left their homes, while others spent day and night praying to the Adepti. Although I did not live through such tragedy, simply reading about it is enough to gain a visceral understanding of all the pain and desperation during that time. On top of the drought, a noxious gas also began to spread through the land.
So
If
I
not for
think...
Cloud Retainer's efforts, much of Liyue would be nothing more than a barren wasteland today.
Obviously, we're English. Anyway, obviously we're hearing quite a bit of Lyra history. I think this is gonna be mostly
The books
focused
had this to
around
say
that,
about what happened.
which makes sense.
Upon arrival, the Adeptus borrowed the wind to retain the clouds.
Thinking about it, I think for
clouds
now
gathered
this is
together,
the
and abundant rain
latest
burst forth from the heavens.
or last time we
Drought and
actually
plague were
or
both driven away,
last time we
and the
actually had
people were
story
saved.
content released for Lyra, I think.
Wow. That's incredible.
Hoping we're going to be visiting the other nations at some point again.
Mortal records add embellishments to dramatize past events. One did merely with one art.
It's something
And
that's
even if
slightly
one had not
unfortunate about
interceded,
what we
the other Adepti would surely have
about
stepped in to
Genshin
help.
currently. Is that because I guess they keep adding more nations, you kind of can't really revisit the old ones, really. Well, technically, Lyra is always going to be visited again because of Lantern Rite and Chinese New Year. But, like, for example, Mondstadt also had its event, and I think... I don't recall it perfectly, but I don't think we had visited it in the Netland, or well, in the 5.x versions. I think it was there in the 4.x updates and so on, but Windbloom wasn't present, I believe, in the 5.x Netland versions, and so on. So the game is proceedingly starting to stretch itself thin in terms of what they could use for events. Or rather, the events they technically have available versus the time. So I think that's something that's slightly disappointing, but anyway.
Even so, you stopped an entire drought.
Still looking forward
Can you
to
really control
the
weather like the
upcoming
book
story,
said?
though.
Oh, Paimon suddenly has a lot more respect for you. So it was Paimon's bad for calling you Illuminated Bird before. You're not too mad, are you?
How laughable. A name is but a simple label we carry with us on our journey through the world. Why would one be offended by such a trivial matter?
That's a relief. In that case, Paimon will continue to call you whatever feels right in the moment.
Well, that is quite enough
Where
ancient
did the
history for
hihi
now.
at the end go? I'm not
Ganyu,
sure.
Have you had word from Shenhe? One has heard that she procured a job recently. Have you any thoughts on her workplace? And what, pray tell, of her monthly remuneration?
Xianyun is interested.
Moreover, does she find
For some
herself
reason.
overly inundated with work?
Although,
Is she
actually,
allowed
no,
time
hang
off
on.
during
Penny
Lantern
also
Rite?
belonged somehow to them, I think.
That
It's been a
is
while.
a lot of questions.
I don't recall Shani being
There is no
somewhat
cause for
related
concern,
to
Cloud
them.
Retainer. I introduced Shenhe to her employer personally.
Also, why is Ganyu still calling her anyway?
Wanmin Restaurant's business has been booming
I
recently.
mean, I guess
So
for them
with Chef
internally
Mao
it
being
makes
swamped with
sense, but
customers, and Xiangling
they
still
are
off and
still
out in search of new
speaking
recipes,
in the
I
public right
introduced
now,
Shenhe to
so
staff the
I would have
restaurant.
expected her to also go with the Xianyun.
I see. Most excellent indeed. One has had the pleasure of being introduced to that family. Xiangling is kind and astute, while her father is loyal and reliable. One has no cause to believe that they will make Shenhe's work difficult. Now, it is almost time to partake in the victuals of noon. One shall visit Wanmin Restaurant in person and see how Shenhe is doing.
And obviously
Huh?
Xianyun is
But
just gonna
didn't
use
you
that
just say
opportunity
that
to
he had something
just
important to do?
check out Leary, I guess.
Can that wait until after we've eaten?
You may return
Not
to your
pretending
work,
that
Ganyu.
it's an
One shall
excuse
see to this
or
matter on
trying
one's
to
own. There will be
awkwardly
many an
get
occasion
out
to
of
dine
this.
together in the future. One is certain the opportunity shall present itself most readily.
Of course, Cloud Retainer. Please take care. Traveler, Paimon, I'll see you some other time.
See you around, Ganyu! Paimon was pretty quick on the uptake there, don't you think? As soon as you mentioned important business to attend to, Paimon realized that you were just looking to cut the conversation short and not take too much of Ganyu's time. Is Paimon right?
No, in fact, it was not an excuse. One is indeed visiting Liyue Harbor for an important purpose.
Wait, for real?
The moment is not yet upon us. Still, the truth will be revealed to you in time.
She really seems to be playing up the whole mysterious Adeptus thing right now. Is it because we just heard that cool story about her powers?
Personally, I was more like, I think she's not trying to talk to Ganyu right now. Or make things awkward for her. But... Or maybe she still doesn't want that, but also doesn't want to be like, too obvious. Hello, kitty cat. Don't mind me. Right, where is the restaurant again? I think it was... Oh, it was that one. Yeah, here we go. Right. I thought it was a different one, but
saying,
no
right?
mind.
Yeah,
No, I
how
don't.
can I not? Not even fine food is enough to distract from the presence of a fine lady, huh?
I'm far more interested in getting her details than ordering any dishes. Hey, how about you ask her?
Bonk.
You do it.
No. I think you should. Wait, she's coming.
What can I get for you today?
Greetings, miss. I was just wondering if you'd be willing to...
Oh, no.
What would you like to order?
Just completely ignoring. Which... That's how Shani is, I believe.
2 servings of more meat to go. Good chat. Bye.
Because I believe, if I recall correctly, she's, in terms of emotions, almost, or pretty much completely neutral.
Welcome. It's been a while. May I take your
Or,
order?
well, you could even say too neutral.
Don't welcome us as guests and greet us as old friends in the same line. It's weird.
It's been a while.
Oh,
Jenny also
and
had
this is?
her own character story, I believe.
This is Miss Xianyun.
Although released way back, I believe.
Master?
And as a result, I also played it way back. Oh, she recognized her, I think.
One does not recall ever revealing this form to you before. How were you able to ascertain one's true identity with such ease?
I've trained and lived with Master for more than 10 years. I would recognize you no matter what form you take.
You...
Is something the matter, Master?
Hardly. Hardly. One simply learned of your employment from your letter and came to check on your well-being.
And check out the great food, too.
Xianyun basically concerned about everyone.
Indeed. It's
that's
almost
about it.
lunchtime. My apologies. I'm still
I
on the
think.
clock and
Unless,
can't talk
unless
for
she
very
still has
long.
something else to do.
Well, if it isn't the Traveler and Paimon. Are you here for Shenhe? The lunch rush isn't in yet, Shenhe, so I've got things covered for now. Go ahead, sit down, and enjoy some time with your friends.
So much about
I'll let
being
you know
on
if
clock.
things pick up.
Thank you, Chef Mao.
A nice boss there, to be fair. Right. Sit and chat. Where though? I guess behind? Yeah, okay, we're just behind the restaurant. I see.
It is just as one expected. The owner of Wanmin Restaurant is indeed a most reasonable and accommodating human. Still, the work here entails dealing with quite a varied group of people. Has this been difficult for you, Shenhe?
It's been manageable so far. I sometimes run into strange people, but I have figured out a way to deal with them.
I mean, restaurant a bit. I guess serving at a restaurant,
Dealing with
you
them.
get introduced to a ton of people, and unfortunately, not everyone's nice.
First, I try to talk sense into them. If that doesn't work, I threaten them with violence. At this point, they usually decide they are in favor of a civil conversation.
Oh,
Luckily, only
how
intimidation
should
then.
Paimon put this?
Sounds reasonable enough.
Oh, a sensible plan. One is gladdened to see you integrate so well into human society.
I do recall Shani being
And you,
more,
How have you been?
not necessarily problematic, but hard, or having a hard time to, like, get herself into humanity, so to speak. I do recall her character story being like that, I
Simply
think.
marvelous. Though Mount Outsong has scarcely enjoyed your presence recently, one has hardly found the pleasure of one's own company to be lacking.
I see. Just as expected of Master.
So basically, come by more often, please. Thank you. What she means to say is she actually misses the two of you a lot.
I have missed Master quite a bit too. Even though work has been busy lately, I've already had a conversation with Chef Mao about taking some time off soon to visit Master.
Oh, you did? Do make note of such matters in your letters in the future. There's hardly a need to keep one in suspense.
Whoa. Her
Well,
mood shot up just like
I
that.
mean, it could also have been a surprise. Maybe. I'm not sure if, well, depends on their relation, or like their, how they, you know, basically how they react to each other, but probably, it could have also been a surprise. I feel like that could have easily been one.
By the way, Master, since you are in Liyue Harbor, have you had the chance to visit Ganyu?
Indeed. She is similarly preoccupied with her work. There was time only to exchange a few simple pleasantries.
What about them basically
Paimon
just
told us
going
the story
together
of
to...
Fabricators' name. It was amazing. We
mountain?
never knew how powerful she was before.
I see. In that case, allow me to also share a story about Master's past.
She's not going to like that.
Oh?
Is that a problem, Master? I believe this to be a good topic of conversation.
No, not a problem. One was simply caught off guard. But no matter, please, proceed. One is most curious to see how much of one's own conversational prowess you possess.
Master once participated in a race against Mooncarver. After Mooncarver lost, he insisted that Master's ability to fly gave her a natural edge in such a contest. In response, Master agreed to forego flying in return for being able to use one of her devices in the race. Mooncarver accepted, only to find Master with a brand new
I
device on the day
actually
of the
expected
contest.
Xianyun to be more, no, please don't. Because that's what the previous conversation obviously was, but at the same time, I feel like it was more of a, let's not take up too much of Ganyu's time.
What kind of device was it?
It was a mechanical vehicle made out of iron. What was it called again? Oh, an electro-powered bicycle?
Oh, you refer to the bicyclical Thunder Flashmobile. One spent 49 days conceptualizing and crafting it. It need only be infused with adeptal energy, and it can cover thousands of miles in one day.
I feel like that's a bit too much to be realistic, but
Oh,
never
it
mind.
boggles the mind why Mooncarver ever supposed he might best me in a contest of locomotion. Though he sprinted with all his might, he could barely keep up. Alas, the one flaw of my
It's
mechanism
so
lay in
interesting
its
though
weakness
that I
against
didn't
mountainous
I
terrain.
didn't think about that it
One
might
was
have
thwarted
something
mere
similar.
seconds from victory, when it was thrown off course and failed to
I
make
mean,
it across the final
they don't have a
stretch.
literal bike, but
Truly a most
or like a
unfortunate
literal
turn of
motorbike.
events.
That they don't have
Anyway,
that. A
do go
bicycle
watch,
doesn't quite match up with that.
Master, that was the end of that story.
Is that so? Huh. With you gone, one has seldom felt the desire to call upon those old fossils for another contest. What is a race without spectators, after all?
I mean, I feel like a race is to make fun, probably. If you're a competitive person,
Have
there's.
you been lonely, Master?
I still don't think there's a need for like spectators to have fun.
Lonely? Huh. At one's age, entire human generations come and go in the blink of an eye. Even one's own self-directed musings can span several days and nights. 'Tis a most foreign sentiment. The mere mention of it is preposterous.
Mm-hmm.
What is the reason for that look upon your face?
It's nothing. It's just... Well, Paimon gained a lot of respect for you after listening to that story of you summoning the rain and everything. But all it took was a few words out of your mouth and it's like you're back to being that illuminated bird again.
What is that supposed to mean? Oh, wrong button. I mean, I guess she does speak a
Which one
little,
of the two is the real cloud retainer?
too formal, I would say.
To me, they are both Master. One is the Master that's widely revered by the people, while the other is the Master that I respect and adore.
Huh. One finds oneself exalted yet again with sweet words of praise and flattery of a most extravagant nature. You chose to exalt one with your words, yet you refuse to grace Mount Outsong with your presence for any extended period of time. One would almost question the sincerity of your estimations.
I feel like these are two different topics that she's mixing up.
This is not to say that your words paint an inaccurate picture.
Just because
One has always
you
lived
think
by a
someone is
single
doing
ideal.
a great things
Eschew
doesn't
all
mean that you
action and
always want to
abide by
meet them,
no
especially
rule.
if they're just
One
like,
does as one pleases
I
and
guess not
speaks as
too
one
far away,
pleases.
but
Others may critique or praise
you
as
know,
they
in
see
a
fit,
different town,
yet
so
one
to
places
speak.
little weight in such judgments.
She got like, what, 2 sentences of flattery from her disciple? And it's as if her ego is about to burst.
Yeah, she does have that, I think.
Do you have any empty
Gotta
tables?
agree with that one. Oh, it looks like Shenhe's gonna have to come back, it seems.
Hey there, could we get another fish stew?
Yep. Okay, Shenhe needs to help now.
I'm hearing more guests come in. I should get back to work.
Yep, here we go. Shenhe leaves us.
Mm-hmm. I'll try my best.
Which means, what do we have up next? As more and more guests begin to trickle in, Paimon takes the opportunity to order a whole array of delicious dishes.
Paimon's gonna feast!
Can you eat this kind of food, Cloud Retainer, or is this food to your taste, Cloud Retainer?
One is fond of all kinds of delicacies and delights in a multitude of flavors.
What does she think about eating birds?
The dishes here demonstrate no shortage of culinary skill. Their unique flavor profile has left one more than satisfied.
Imagine sort
In
of eating,
fact,
being a
one has
bird
been
and
struck
eating
by
birds
quite the
yourself.
fit of inspiration. One has already begun to conceptualize the next generation of supreme
I mean, she's not a
machines.
bird really, but still, she's a fly, so I guess it's close enough, probably.
Everything's so tasty. A bit too hot at times, but still super tasty.
Oh, I'm sorry, miss, but our tables are full.
Shall we try somewhere else, Granny?
Are we going to leave now that so that they kind of could have a spot or something?
Can we
I mean,
really
we're not.
eat
Oh,
here?
no, hang
My
on.
poor legs can't go on for much longer.
Technically, they are eating, so there's that.
Well, you could always check with some of the other guests and see if anyone's happy to share a table.
Okay, I'll ask around.
Well, I can see 2 tables at once that are only half filled. If they need any spot, and I guess they can.
Excuse me. Would you mind letting us share a table with you? There are no empty tables left, so...
Nice for them to ask, though.
Well, Paimon doesn't mind. What about you guys?
Well, looks like Xianyun also agrees, and we're not going to disagree
Thanks so much.
either.
My name is Xiyu, and this is my granny, Yuendai. Granny? Yep. Is there something wrong with that? No, Paimon's just a bit surprised. She looks so young.
I don't think I'd call her young. You can
Yeah.
tell
a
her
lot of people
age,
compliment Granny on her youthful looks,
but
she's actually much older than she appears.
anyway. Oh, looks like she recognizes Xianyun though.
Granny, why don't you take a seat? Come on, it's not polite to stare.
Huh. Have we met before?
Certainly feels like it if we watch their like interactions.
No.
Tis a fated meeting then. Please, take a seat.
What would you like to eat, Granny?
I feel like
can
she
order
still
for you.
recognized her, but couldn't quite place it.
I want braised earthworms. They always pop up out of the ground after a rainstorm.
That doesn't sound like something they actually offer.
No, not this again. Granny,
I
there's
was
no
about
braised
to
earthworms
say
on the
that
menu.
sounds out of theme, I would say.
Braised earthworms? Well, that sounds weird. Do people actually eat that?
Can't hurt to ask. I mean,
Right, that's what Paimon was
there are
thinking,
certainly
too.
people eating insects. Not something I would do personally, but it's a real thing, I guess.
Help? Oh, do you mean with Granny? Thanks, that's nice of you to offer. Granny has pretty bad dementia, so her memory's getting worse all the time. She's always saying things that sound kinda confusing. Actually,
I guess that
memory's been
explains
bad ever since I was
the
little, but
worms.
it's gotten so bad lately that I even have to remind her who I am every morning.
What about your parents? Yeah, it's kind of surprising that I guess still a child still takes care of her alone, it
They
seems.
died young. It's just me and Granny now.
Oh,
Oh, but it's okay. Don't feel
well,
bad.
that's awkward.
Granny loves me a lot, and I love her a lot too. Sure, it's hard at times, but you just gotta make the best of the life you've got. Wow, you're really tough for your age, kid. You're too kind.
And me? Oh, what about me?
You're tough too, Granny. Plus, you're really gentle, and you're always there for me.
Based on that, I'm pretty sure they probably, or she probably recognized Xianyun. She just couldn't place it where, when she
and
did,
it's
or
hardly
like
as
who
if
she
I
is.
forget everything. I
So we'll
still
probably find that
remember
out
the
in
important things.
later,
Uh,
later as the story progresses.
What was that really important thing again? Ah, I remember now. It was a dream. I had a dream where everything was dark. Someone was standing in front of me. She told me to come and find her, and that once I'd found her, I would be free.
Huh? That sounds super important. But how come you've never told me about it before?
It was just a dream, so I forgot about it. But I'm in a good mood now, and somehow I remembered it again. You know, I believe I've had this dream a great many times. But just how many times have I had it? Now that I do not remember.
Wait, so you have a reoccurring dream where someone's talking to you? That sounds spooky.
In the meanwhile, I have some user to take care of.
Unlikely.
Always great to have
Eyes
these.
are clear, and her breathing remains calm and level. One sees no signs of possession.
Right, let's go back to the story a moment. Possession. We also had that topic a while back. Now I don't recall when exactly,
Are you sure?
but I do recall something. I'm not sure where to place it though. We've had a possession topic not too long
Who do
ago.
you take me for? Is one not an adept?
When did that happen? I don't
Am
I don't
not
know.
an expert?
You're right. Paimon almost forgot you're the expert. In that case, do you
It could have
still
been.
remember what the person in your dreams
I don't think it
looked
was
like for
part
you?
of the story, was it? Was it part of an event? I definitely recognized that there was some kind of, or it could have also been. I don't think I did it by a shoe story, did I? I'm not sure. There definitely was a story not too long ago, or at least I played it not too long ago, where there was some kind of corruption thing happening in the northwestern region of Liyue.
Not
That happened
anymore.
before, but I don't really recall
Although,
right now when
I
exactly.
had a sense that she
personally.
looked rather like me. But not as I am now. My younger self.
I would not be
Younger version
surprised.
of
Yeah,
Granny?
they are definitely going to recognize each
This is
other
just getting weirder and
at some
weirder.
point.
What is going on here?
As one said, fate must have brought us together. You may leave the situation to me.
Are you sure? So, what are your names?
Is she going to say Cloud Retainer?
Paimon's Paimon.
Just Xianyun is fine.
She doesn't.
Thank you
Not
all
for
so
now,
much
at
for
least.
offering to help. But first,
Maybe later.
I'm sorry for asking, but, how do you want us to pay you back? Oh, we don't need any payment for this.
We're just curious about your situation and want to help if we can.
Thank you so much. You're welcome. But Miss Xianyun, what exactly can we do to help out this granny? All we have to go off
That's
is
something
that
I would
dream.
like to know
Where
as
is
well. I mean, ideal thing would be if we could deal with her disease as well,
That is
but
elementary.
I don't
Since her
think we
dreams
can.
portray her younger self,
Or
then we
unless
shall
Genshin
retrace
has
the
some
steps of her
stuff in
youth.
there
Once we
in
have
their
revisited those places, her
dimension
memories
that
will
I'm not
likely
aware
return.
of.
Sounds like a plan. So, Granny, do you remember which places you went to when you were young?
Why, of course I do. The heavens above, the earth below, the wispy clouds, and the emerald mountain streams.
Okay, taking that as a no. I might have an idea.
Yeah, we were hoping for more detailed
Once, when
information
I was
in
really
detail.
little, my dad told me that Granny used to be a martial
Which is
artist
a
heroine who saved loads of people
bit of a
from
problem.
disaster. If it's true, then maybe they wrote about it in the history books or something. A martial arts
Watch her
guild.
being like a colleague
Shinjo
of,
knows
well,
tons
well,
about
colleague in
Liyue's
quotes,
chivalric
basically,
traditions.
of
If anyone knows
Xianyun.
about the heroes of the past,
That would be,
it's him. Let's go find him at the
I
Xianyun Character
don't
Quest.
think, but well, I'm not really sure
Are you
how
leaving already?
their role thing
But I'm
works,
still
really.
hungry.
I'll go order some
Well,
food
there's
here.
still
If
plenty
there's
of food
nothing
on the
the menu you
table.
especially want, I'll just get a few different things.
And also, there's like still plenty of stuff around.
It seems we must part ways for now. The Traveler and Paimon are bound for the Xianyun Commerce Guild, while Yuendai and Shuyu shall remain here and partake of their lunch. As for myself, I have matters to discuss with Streetward Rambler.
Who?
Street word rambler? Oh, you mean Madam Ping?
Okay.
Precisely. Let us meet at Yujing Terrace once you are ready.
Right, so we are going to leave them alone for now, at the very least. But hopefully also go back to that in a moment's time. Right, where exactly am I supposed to go, please? Where is it? I guess not here. So where is it? Well, that's nice. So apparently I need to do another mission first, because that a side quest blocks the character quest, and I guess the focus on that thing does not work here. Nice one. Anyway. In that sense, let's quickly take care of that and hopefully be able to come back to the story in a moment. Oh, you're back at last. How did it go? Did you find our 2 offers? I did. The letters have been delivered. That's wonderful. What did they say, traveler? They both said that they'd read letters with care. Good, good. It's just a shame that they're both far away in Liyue. Even we couldn't easily go to visit them any day we like. This is especially the case for Mr. Xianyun. His book, A Legend of Sword, wasn't even submitted by him, but by a traveling merchant. Later, one of our editors would read this book, and seeing its value, they prepared to go to Liyue personally and arrange for more manuscripts to be written. But we would have thought the situation here kept changing. One of our plans kept getting delayed, and none of the letters we had sent ever returned. We could only publish the books first, while keeping a record of the royalties owed to Mr. Xianyun. Once we'd established contact, we would send the royalties over. Oh, I wish Mr. Xianyun could attend this competition. These royalties can't be left to pile up for like this much longer. And was that it? I am not sure. I think it was. Okay. So just a small side quest over in Inazuma that blocked Yankyu in Liyue. For whatever reason. I do recall a story about some kind of yeah, maybe I guess I interacted with him at some point there, and that just meant that it's gonna go do that mission, if I had to guess. But anyway, we have arrived.
Huh. It's you two. What brings you here?
Shinjo! Great, we found you! We wanted to ask you about something.
You explained the situation to Xianyun.
That's not a whole lot of information to go off of. I don't know if I can say for sure.
That's fine. Anything is helpful and appreciated.
Her identity from your description alone. But considering her age, I am reminded of a nameless heroine who's been featured in various chivalric novels.
Nameless heroine?
So there is no name
That's
to go
right.
off of?
The novels often speak of a great drought from 50 years ago. As the people suffered,
50 years
a
ago
nameless
probably
heroine
would fit
appeared
the age
and
though.
began to clear away evil spirits and bandit camps. The people idolized her, but never learned her name. All they knew was that she always acted alone. Later, though, she supposedly fell in love with a similarly noble-minded exorcist from Mount Tianheng. They were well matched in more ways than one, often fighting together as a fearsome duo of otherworldly strength. After the drought ended, the heroine and the exorcist left the public eye and began living a reclusive life in the mountains.
Yeah,
All
it
that
does
remained were
sound like
tales of
they're
her
basically
incredible
both.
accomplishments.
And we have a heroine and an exorcist. Maybe they're like, one of them is Xianyun and the other one is what was the name? Moon something.
The way this nameless heroine
Maybe.
faded from fame into
I'm not sure,
obscurity
but
later in life
maybe.
is not too dissimilar from Miss Yuendai. I hope that's somewhat helpful.
It could very well be.
Thanks a lot, Xingqiu. We knew it'd be worth talking to you.
It's nothing at all. Just something I came across while reading. I did do a bit of extra research on her story, but it was just out of personal curiosity.
Well, Paimon still thinks that's super cool. Oh, wait, Xingqiu, if you've read up on her, do you know of any places often associated with her?
Let me think. In the novels, the nameless heroine always appeared near one of 3 places. Wangshu Inn, the area just north of Jueyun Karst, and Qingyun Peak.
Isn't Karst
Perhaps
that
the real-life heroine who
place
inspired
that
the
it's
character
somewhat
was also
close to
often
the
seen near
usual
those 3
location of
places.
Cloud Retainer?
That would explain why those locations
I'm not
appear in the
sure,
various
but
novels
I
written about
think
her.
it is. Anyway, thanks so much, Xingqiu.
You're welcome. To be honest, I found some parts of the story confusing when I first came across it. If Miss Yuendai was indeed the original inspiration for the character, she may just be able to help me put the pieces together. It's rare for a chivalric hero to fade into obscurity during their lifetime, even after retiring from the public eye. But no one ever saw or heard from the nameless heroine again. There were even rumors that she became extremely ill. I've never understood why someone would go to such lengths to erase themselves from public memory. It's almost as if she was trying to hide from something. There's probably far more to the story than what's been written.
We'll be sure to tell you if we manage to uncover the truth.
That's a deal. Perhaps, behind the truth of it all, there lies a story more fantastical than any work of fiction.
Paimon feels like we just learned so much from Xingqiu. A drought, a nameless heroine, a life of seclusion. Wait, why does the story sound super familiar?
Well, because it sounds awfully like Cloud Retainer,
Oh,
doesn't
right.
it?
There's a drought in this story too! Xingqiu, are droughts super common in Liyue or something?
Well, they used to be. But people have long since developed methods to prevent them, like by cultivating the soil or digging canals.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that ends up being
So while droughts do happen
connected
from time
in
to
that
time,
sense, though.
they are rarely regarded as true disasters. The drought 50 years ago is probably one of the worst we've had in the last several centuries. The crops withered, the streams ran dry, and the monsters in the mountains became rabid and agitated. Countless caravans were attacked, and people who lost their homes came together to form bandit groups. What started as a natural disaster soon became a human tragedy as well.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, and that's exactly why the nameless heroine was so beloved. She must have been someone of true integrity, to do so much for the people while asking nothing in return. Still, as terrible as that drought was, it was nothing compared to the truly calamitous disasters that befell this land in ancient
Referring
times.
to the 500 years ago, probably.
They say that back in those days, disasters were both more severe and more common. Only the strongest of Adepti could hope to dispel the ruin and devastation. Do you have any other questions?
We're good for now. We're just going to head back and meet up with Miss Xianyun and the others again. Paimon hopes that Granny Yuendai will be able to remember more of her past. She used to be a great hero who saved many people. So sad that she can't recall any of it.
I guess that's how it is with
Thank you so much
what
for
she
your
has,
help.
unfortunately.
It's no problem at all. Safe travels.
Right, where do we have to go next? We know with the others where Madame Ping is. Lost dog poster. I think we're gonna have to go through here and then walk up this path. Yep. So I believe she is on the upper section of the area. Yeah, you. Interesting how the game just suggests going like
I hope it will be of help to you.
over the wall.
Oh, thank you.
What kind of tune? Obviously, Madame Ping was the teapot, or person that gave us the teapot,
Ping, what has amused you so?
which and ever since unlocking that, we can always find these discs around, of course.
It's no serious matter. I was just reminiscing about the
However
last
many
time
there
I
are
saw
at
you
this
in
point,
form.
like
Time
100,
has
200,
wrought such change
something,
in this world, and yet
if I recall
you
correctly.
appear just the same
I do
as
not know
ever.
how many actually, but close enough probably.
Time has little bearing on one's existence, nor has one keenly felt its effects whilst dwelling at Mount Outsong. Nevertheless, Ping, one would like to seek your counsel on a personal matter.
Oh, why so formal all of a sudden? I must say, you're making me a little nervous. What is it?
Well, the inquiry is as such. Approximately how much more would one need to afford a comfortable life in the harbor, not unlike the one that you yourself lead?
Does she just want to give her money?
It does not require as much as you may think. Still, do you mean that...
Cloud Retainer, Madam Ping! What are you two talking about?
Or does she
Nothing
want to
save for
move
some
to...
trivial
I doubt she would want to move to
Have you
Lyria.
unearthed any useful details?
A few little
Shinta has
ones.
a theory, but let's save it for when Chuyu and Miss Yuendai have joined up with us again.
Chuyu and Hyundai soon arrive at the same. Hyundai, not Hyundai.
Do not be
That's a
troubled,
car.
young lady. Here, have some tea.
Thank you so much. What do you think, Chuyu? Does it match up with what you know of your granny? According to the story, the nameless heroine eventually fell in love with an exorcist from Mount Tianheng. Maybe that's my grandpa. I don't have many memories of him, but there was this one time I found a box in our attic full of a bunch of weird sigils.
Seems like the stories were on the right track. We should probably pay a visit to the 3 places mentioned in the books.
I think so too. Granny might remember something once she's returned to a familiar place.
Well, let's say we can certainly try.
What marvelous tea. I can taste the dew's sweetness in this cup. It's as if I was taking a stroll in the mountains, thoroughly one with nature.
And maybe we do end up finding things out.
Is that so? Then please drink as much as you like. There's no need to hurry. At our age, it's always nice to slow down and take the time to appreciate pleasant conversation among friends.
Thank you.
Let's rest here for a little while then. Well, it's always
Okay,
nice
Since we have the time,
to take a
can
breather.
I ask you something?
Sure.
thing. What would you like to know? I have a secret I want to tell you. Let's go talk over there.
A secret that I guess her granny isn't supposed to hear from. What happens if we
You can
interact
taste
with
the
them?
sweetness of the dew?
It's just a feeling. The sensation of stepping out into the mountains on a cool morning, gazing upon the small droplets of water hanging from the leaves, and feeling the sweet stream of water soothe a parched throat with every swallow. It's a sense of calm and serenity, one that stretches on and on until days become weeks, weeks become years.
Well, while they're discussing over tea, let's go into the corner and see what Shuyu has to say.
What's wrong, Shuyu?
But I'm guessing she is worrying about her granny.
Well, I've been kind of meaning to ask ever since we started talking in the restaurant, but are you guys all adepti in disguise?
She is, but not us.
Oh! About that.
Why do you say that?
Well, you guys just seem super special. Plus, I think I might have heard Miss Xianyun call herself an adeptus.
Well, I guess someone slipped their tongue a little then.
Must have been a slip of the tongue. Xianyun, since you were the one who, misspoke, maybe you can explain to Shuyu here what you really meant by that.
Just kick the bucket over to to Xianyun to have her figure out how to get out of this.
One is indeed an adeptus. Is that of some concern to you?
That's not the way I would have reacted, but anyway.
I knew it.
You don't sound surprised at all.
Well, one time when I was a little kid, I saw a pure white illuminated crane.
Which is her.
I had this super high fever, and Granny wasn't around. I was feeling all icky and gross. But then this snowy white crane flew down from the sky. She put me on her back and flew me to her cool Adeptus house and fed me some sort of magic potion. When I woke up,
Obviously, we already know that is her, just in a different form.
I really wanted to thank her, but I was too sleepy to stay awake, so I never got the chance. So, I just kind of wanted to ask if maybe any of you have ever met an Adeptus like that?
Just stare to your left side.
A pure white illuminated crane? The only two we've ever met are blue and white and black and brown. Have you ever met one that's pure white, Clavertina?
Well, I thought it was her, but...
Never has one met an adeptus with such features. One surmises such a description is but a hyperbolic embellishment that oft results from narrative accounts.
Yeah, I don't think she's... whatever that crane was, or whoever that was, probably wasn't pure white.
That's weird. Was it really just a dream then?
I wouldn't be surprised if she got help, it just probably wasn't a pure white one.
Even if it was just in my head, it doesn't matter that much anyway. All I really want is to help Granny recover her memories. I'm really grateful for all your help.
Or watch her being Granny, basically, or Granny being also an adeptus and being like, that's no white crane. Who knows? Could be.
Let's go to Wangshu Inn first. Okay, I'll go get Granny.
Who knows how they are connected? Right, time to go to Wangshu Inn, if I recall correctly. Yep, it was. That big inn in the middle of Liyue. Time to go there and see what we can find there. I just need to hit the teleporter instead of the mark, but anyway.
Wangshu Inn. Wangshu Inn.
Sounds like she might remember something.
Do you remember this place, Granny?
Hopefully.
Yes. The fish here is very delicious. And if you look out into the distance, you can always spot a bird that's been left behind by its flock. I believe I used to have a room here. It had a window. Yes, I spent a lot of time looking out that window.
Did she used to
Which
work
room
here,
was it
or like
again?
what?
Let me look.
Let's see what
Arkham
she's gonna
Room.
show us. I don't think we can I don't think there are actual
I'm
rooms
still having some trouble understanding
in
what
the
she's
inn.
talking about, but if she's so familiar with this place, that must mean she lived here, right? Wait, huh? No! Shut! What are you doing here all of a sudden? You scared the living daylights out of Paimon!
Kind of
I
funny,
sensed
but
a
at the same
non-human
time.
presence and decided to come take a look.
Oh, okay, he
If
spotted.
you're here, then there's likely no trouble afoot. I suppose
He probably
there's no
spotted
cause for
Xianyun then.
concern.
Unless he's also referring to Shuyu, but I doubt it
It's been a
so
while,
far.
Cloud Retainer. I see you have returned to your previous form. I have indeed. I fought alongside her in this form on many occasions during the Archon War.
Oh, wow! What was she like during the war? Oh, wait, let Paimon
Angry,
take a guess.
probably.
Was it anything like this?
Behold, the glory of one's newest invention, the Bang Bang Continuous Fire Mechanism. Hands up and surrender, or be prepared to face the full might of the Adepti.
Probably similar, but not in that sense, I
An
think.
impressive imitation.
Paimon knows her all too well.
I would not be surprised if she's about to be upset, though.
Even so, Cloud Retainer was not always as ostentatious as you describe. You may be unaware, but her talent with Adepti sigils is just as formidable as her skill in mechanics. The Archon War reached its peak after Guizhong's death. The Cloud Retainer who fought beside me in those devastating battles was taciturn and solemn, only speaking when she had to activate her sigils.
I do not know what these two words are supposed to mean,
Cloud Retainer
but
who barely talks? Paimon can't picture it.
anyway.
What happened after that? If you were so powerful in your human form, why did you decide to take up your bird form again?
Once one had bid farewell to the world of mortals, what use would one still have for such a shape?
I guess she just didn't really want to be that obvious,
When
maybe.
dwelling between mountain and forest,
Like,
away
I
from
mean,
the
if you're
struggles
just
and
sitting in the
troubles of
mountain,
mortal
might as well
world,
chill.
a mortal form is hardly the most fitting of choices.
After the war, Cloud Retainer retired to Mount Outsong, only revealing herself to the occasional visitor, and always in her avian form. Although I do believe there was an occasion some 30-odd years ago, when she decided to don her human form.
Oh?
I believe it was for the purpose of...
One believes there is little need to relive bygone matters.
So Xianyun interjects here. She doesn't want Xiao to talk about that. Oh, hang on.
Back then, at this place...
But 30 odd years, I feel like that kind of matches back into the 50-year thing.
Perhaps this conversation should end here. I shall take my leave now.
Well, there is something that we are
Should you
supposed...
encounter any
He was
trouble,
trying to
you
tell
need only
us.
call my name. However, given that you are traveling with Cloud Retainer, I trust you are in good hands.
And there he
I
goes.
think Granny is finally beginning to remember her past.
Slowly now, calm your mind and recount what has been recalled.
A long time ago, I stayed here to recuperate from my illness.
Similar to what the little one had, maybe.
So what Shinto said was true. You did fall ill. Was that why you went into hiding?
I don't remember. I'm very sorry, but I can't even remember the name of my illness. The only thing I can remember is that it took a great toll on me, and there was no cure for it.
And did
I was
Jamie end up
confined to my
meeting
room in Wangshu Inn,
Xianyun in
where I
that
spent many
sense?
days unconscious. I'd come to every once in a while and stare at the migrating birds outside the window. It was a solemn sight. I remember crying, but I'm not even sure I knew why.
I feel like we're about to, like...
One day, I met a traveling merchant. Upon hearing of my illness, he sold me a bottle of soul revitalizing
It's not someone I know.
pills.
Or at least I do not recognize
He
this
told
person.
me that the pills were concocted using Adepti blood and could be used to alleviate my symptoms. Sure enough, I made a full recovery. My illness remained dormant for several decades after that.
Oh, is it something similar to what we had in the Inazuma arc?
Wait, but if your illness remained dormant for several decades, are you saying that what you're going through now is just a relapse of what happened all those years ago? And it was all thanks to the pills that you managed to keep the symptoms in check? Paimon's brain kinda hurts. Do you remember anything else?
What were... in that sense, what were those pills, though?
I'm sorry, I don't. Oh.
That's
if
a
only
strange
I
thing.
wasn't
What would
so
they
useless.
be?
Hey, you're not useless. You've done so much for me. Watched me grow up. Raised me. How could you say that about yourself?
Oh, fret not, dear child.
And is the
Granny
reason why
was
she,
just a
I
bit
guess her memory is
frustrated.
deteriorating, is
That's
that
all.
maybe why? Maybe she ran out or something? Although, there must have been a ton of them if she did ran out.
The recovery of a person's memories is a gradual process. Finding pieces of one's past is always superior to not finding anything at all. Let us make haste to the next location.
Next location. Next location. Oh, why don't we go to the area north of Dwayun Karst next?
Right, we're gonna check the second location of Frey that we have at least heard about.
Oh, Paimon's got it. Let's check out the houses in the area first. After all, if she was there for any length of time, then she would have stayed somewhere, right? Oh, Paimon's really got her thinking cap on today. At this rate, we'll recover all of Granny Wendai's memories in no time.
Hopefully. Right, let's go to the young first, I believe. Look for clues in Northern Xianyun Character Quest. Well, I guess we might as well... Or, well, it is shorter, but... I guess we might as well travel like this and not use the teleporter. Well, it's been a while since I really went around in Liyue. I have been, at this point, mostly playing the game just for the story, to be honest. I haven't really touched anything else. And have basically done no farming, even though I definitely should. But it's really not something I've been regularly doing, unfortunately. I still gotta do it at some point. It's not like... I've been struggling with the days, to be honest, but... Anyway. Right, well, we have a few enemies to take care of, it seems. If the camera could... Thank you very much. But I mean, my issues, I guess, the dailies take too long. For example, Genshin, where I'm just like, not really bothering, even though my characters are still very much problematic in terms of levels. Well, that's all of them done. Let's see.
Do you remember anything about this place, Granny Wendai?
Let me think. I feel like I've been here before.
Is that maybe where she used to live?
But I don't think I stayed here too long. I might have just rested here briefly before continuing on my way.
Got it. That's okay. There are still plenty of other places we can check.
Well, we
Wait a
have
second.
two. Oh,
If
hang on.
I remember correctly, I believe I brought... Ah, yes, I brought some sweet snacks with me. Go on, take some. You need to eat a lot if you want to grow big and strong.
Paimon still certainly needs to do that.
Paimon will help herself.
If you look at Paimon, then she's... I don't think the Traveler needs that, but Paimon certainly does. Right. There is the second location. And here we go. Is there anything? I guess we'll run into enemies again. Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe not.
Paimon sees an abandoned house. Why don't we take a break over there?
This place...
He recognizes it though.
Did you remember something, Granny?
I think she is trying to.
I remember. Xianyun. This is where your father was born.
Oh.
It was a moonless night. I had been injured, so your grandpa was supporting me. We fled together with some being in the fog behind us in hot pursuit. I had exhausted my strength when the labor pains came on, so we took refuge in this house. Your grandpa set up a barrier outside, but neither of us knew if it could hold the monsters back.
And it's not the house where they would regularly live.
I remember falling to my knees, reciting a prayer over and over. I alone am the source of this sin. Punish me as you wish for forsaking my oath, but spare my innocent child.
Sin? Oath? Did you do something wrong?
I don't know. I don't remember. I only remember praying in the darkness with all my strength until the sun finally rose again and the fog cleared out.
And
Eventually, the house was filled.
okay, I was
with the
about to
sound
say,
of my
I would
baby's
hope
first
it made it
cries.
anyway.
That baby was your father. I remember I clutched him tight to my chest and wept tears of joy. It was the first time I'd ever felt such happiness in my life.
My dad?
He was my pride and joy, and so are you.
So we are
Xianyun.
slowly uncovering
You're
her
so
memories,
much
it
like
seems.
him, and I love
And
you both
important
so much.
knowledge about her family
But
as well.
you're always going to be different from me. Why? Just what did I do?
Still guessing that we'll find out some connection to Cloud
I
Retainer.
don't care what you might have done, Granny. You'll always be the person
Otherwise,
I
I
love more than
don't.
anything.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
You're too sweet, Xianyun. I'm lucky to have you with me. If not for you, I would not have had the courage to come here, to try to remember what I had forgotten. All right. Let's not stand around any longer. There's one place left, yes?
There is
Let's go take a
Let's go to the final one and see what awaits us there.
If one recalls correctly, the next place should be Xianyun Peak. You and I, how fares your health?
I may be a bit slow, but I'll do my best to keep up.
Oh.
I'm sorry to keep everyone waiting.
Climb on, I shall carry you to the top.
Okay, I didn't quite expect.
Such
Turns
lightness of weight.
All those who grow old grow frail in the end, do they not? First, you lose your memory, then your health. Eventually, you end up losing everything. My only wish is to depart this world with a lucid mind, to free myself of this torment and the burden it places upon others.
Fret not. You have my aid in this endeavor.
That last sentence could be misunderstood. Interesting enough, we did still have a final spot to uncover, but looks like it's not. Or well, it wasn't quite the correct one. Or no, hang on. It sounds like we just skipped one because I guess we uncovered the correct one or something. Right, let's go to Xianyun Peak though. Let's use the teleporter now that the voice lines are done. Now that the dialogue is done. Yeah, we're getting close to where the Cloud Retainer would usually be, right? Because I think... Yeah, Mount Aosang or Aochang or whatever it's pronounced. That's where the Cloud Retainer usually is. Not sure what happened, but it felt like, or like it looked like we were being tracked up again. Which isn't the case, as you can see.
We're finally here. Does this place feel familiar to you, Granny Wendai?
Let me see. How strange. Have I lived here before?
Take it easy, take your time.
When we were at Wangshu Inn and the abandoned house earlier, though I couldn't remember everything, I still felt a sense of familiarity. I could easily picture myself in those places. But here, I don't have that feeling. Perhaps I did come here in the past, but it just didn't leave a strong impression on me.
But did the stories get it wrong then?
No, I'm guessing there's still something that we're slightly missing.
Yeah, that's true. But they're also the only thing we have to go off of. Paimon was hoping this place would jog Granny Wendai's memory just like the others.
I'm sorry to disappoint you too.
It's alright. We're not going to give up yet. We'll figure something else out. Just you wait.
Thank you.
Well, maybe there's a
If only
clue
I
we
could
have
remember.
missed. You know, maybe like a small thingy.
Huh?
We are getting
That way.
close.
What's that mountain?
We are getting close to that mountain I was about to say.
Oh, let Paimon look! Huh? Isn't that Mount Outsong? Looks like we've come full circle.
Yep.
Mount Outsong. Mount Outsong.
Granny, are you okay?
She's trying to remember
Don't
something.
push yourself, Granny. It's okay if you can't remember. You shouldn't do something that makes
We
you
should just
sad.
go over there, to be honest, and be like,
Outsong,
and let's see.
am I really?
Mount Outsong holds some familiarity to you?
It does, but I can't go back.
No, I think you
Are you
should.
feeling unwell?
My head, it feels all heavy and dizzy. What is wrong with me?
Cloud... Miss Xianyun, is there anything you can do?
Paimon nearly spilled the beans.
Let us go to Mount Outsong.
Yeah, okay, we are indeed going there. Even though she is not feeling well, we are going there because
Fret
there's
not,
something.
All will be well. You and I, you have already given more than enough to the pursuit of this endeavor. You may leave the rest to me. I've prepared something that can aid you in suppressing the fear in your heart and restoring your lost memories. It currently resides at Mount Outsong.
Wait, really? When did you do that?
I have a mild feeling that she just randomly came up with an idea.
I never leave anything to chance. All will reveal itself when we arrive.
Well, thank you, game, for that easy way to go over there. Certainly much appreciated, to be honest. Right, and here we are at Mount... what is that in the background? Oh! Yeah, obviously you might be able to tell that I haven't really touched the game in the After Fontaine stuff, so that's what we see in the background.
What's this thing you've prepared?
Here, this is it.
It's a statue of Cloud Retainer. It also gives me like record player vibes or something.
Huh? But isn't this the mechanism that you were tinkering with when we first got here? Oh, is it another invention of yours?
Precisely. A recent one at that. I am most pleased with the result. I call it the Suspensus Somnium mechanism. It periodically releases a soft breeze, which when paired with a gentle adeptal tune, can help the listener subconsciously relax, and even enter a semi-hypnotic state.
Is that something we would like to do? I'm getting the
Soothing
vibe,
agitation
maybe not.
And anxiety, relieving exhaustion and insomnia. Its potential uses are numerous indeed. And of course, it can also aid in the recovery of lost memories.
Whoa, what a cool gadget! But if you had it all along, why did you keep it to yourself until just now? We could have come to Mount Outsong right off the bat and saved Paimon a lot of floating.
How preposterous. Had Yuendai not recalled much of her past through her own efforts, the device would have nothing to draw upon.
Also, that is a fair thing, and also I feel like it would have not really been clear to use that, to be honest.
We Adepti can only help those who first resolve to help themselves.
Because,
But
like,
she lacks
you know,
such
I mean,
determination and strength of character.
I guess it refers
One
back
would have
to,
little
I'm not
to
sure
offer in the way of
if
assistance.
the Teyvat universe would really have something that could fight against that kind of disease. It seems like we do, or it does,
Thinks
but...
she gets it now. Hey, what's that other thing?
As previously mentioned, a gentle adeptal tune is required to take full advantage of the mechanism.
Oh, that's the thing she
One
picked up
secured such
from
a tune for
Ping.
the Streetward Rambler. Only with her melodies can the mechanism reach its peak power.
So, that was the reason why she was in Liyue, I guess, then.
Oh, Paimon can feel what you mean. Paimon's body feels light as a feather. It's as if she's lying down on a warm patch of grass after a super satisfying
And
meal.
Paimon, of course, always thinks about food. That's what's going on.
And you and I, is the mechanism helping you to relax?
It's giving me a vibe that it may be too relaxing, but we'll see.
It appears she has already succumbed to the depths of reverie. Come, join one on this side. We shall give her some time to herself.
Well then.
The drought is over. But why do you look like you
Oh.
want to cry?
She is indeed recovering memories, it seems.
The potion. It's nearly run its course.
I've never regretted meeting you. Not even for a second.
Is that like the grandfather? So that in the middle might have been her herself? Maybe?
Please, no.
Or what is it?
Have you forgotten? This is the world you left behind. One of gentle breeze and morning dew, perfectly straddled betwixt the realms of heaven and earth. This is your home. This is where you belong. You should have never left. The you of the past.
So I guess this confirms that the crane we saw, or like that crane that she saw, the young one, I forgot her name. I guess that is she. And she is supposed to be an Adepti as well? Is that what's going on?
So that is the truth. No wonder this place is so familiar.
Granny! Granny, are you okay?
Cloud Retainer.
Your memories have returned.
Who is she though?
Wait, did you just call her by her full name? Does that
Well,
mean...
I mean, we already know that they are. I was already expecting that they are related to in some way.
Yes. I now
But
remember
I'm not.
everything.
No, I don't think she is one. Because otherwise she wouldn't be like this.
I'm here.
Right?
Oh, don't worry, my dear child. Granny is fine. I'm so sorry, everyone. You've gone to so much trouble on my behalf. It's all come back to me now. The most important thing that I had forgotten was the truth of what I once was.
One can sense the guilt that now plagues your conscience. Reclaiming a truth long buried is sure to come with a myriad of complex emotions. Perhaps one should recount the story on your behalf while you compose yourself.
No, it's okay. Now that I've remembered, I must face my memories head on.
What?
Xianyun,
What exactly?
Everyone, I cannot thank you enough for all your help. I'm ready to tell you my story, if you're willing to listen.
Please, Granny.
Right, so now we actually find out things, and that'll be interesting.
I love you more than anything.
Because I guess that fills in the gaps from the story. If I had to guess, or I would
Dear
hope.
child, my feelings for you are exactly the same. It is for this reason that you deserve to know the truth. Some time ago, I made a terrible mistake, one for which I could never atone.
Is this the sin that you mentioned in Xianyun Character? What happened?
I am, in truth, not a human being. My real form, one that I held for centuries, was that of a wild crane.
Okay, so
I spent many, many years living on Mount Outsong, bathing in the
how
soft
do they
breeze
fit
and drinking the sweet
into that?
dew
I
of
guess.
the mountains.
Or what was
At
the
some point, I
incident?
somehow
I'm
gained
just gonna call it
wisdom and
that.
sentience. The Lord of the Mountain, Cloud Retainer, became aware of my existence and began to share many stories with me. She even passed on the secret of cultivation to me. Though she never took me on as a formal disciple, I always saw her as my master. Whenever she took out her tools to work on mechanisms or new inventions, I would also stand next to her and watch. I even contemplated
So
completing
how
my
did
training
the
and
sin,
becoming
so
an
to speak,
adeptus
come
in
to
my
be
own
though?
right. I followed her teachings, and time gradually passed us by. Until that fateful day 50 years ago.
Which fits to the stories we had heard. Doing the fraud drought that struck
That's
Leary.
right. Master regaled me with many stories of her past deeds. From them, I learned how she had saved people from a similar crisis in the past. She was the one I looked up to the most. More than
Did she try to
anything, I
help
dreamt
them,
of becoming
and
an
in that
adeptus
process,
like her.
things
I wanted
fell
to
apart?
travel the land like she had,
Is that what
relieving
is
suffering
that what
wherever I
happened?
went. But I was still far from being a real adeptus. I possessed no ability to take on human form and fit in with the crowd. Once she learned of my desires, Master prepared a special dose of human mimicry potion for me. She warned me that the potion's effects would only last 10 years, and if I were to fail to return to my original form at the end of that time, I would forever forget my past as a crane and become something neither human, beast, nor adeptus.
So So what? So obviously she's still human. What is she then?
No. So that was the source of your dementia all along.
But you never turned back into a crane.
Grandpa? Indeed, I fell in love. Though he was human, he had spent his entire life training on Mount Tianheng. When we met, it was not only my first foray into the world below, but his as well.
What was he then?
Although
In that
clumsy
case.
and impulsive as he was, you'd think he was the real strange bird among the two of us. But still, just like me, he cared deeply about the world and wanted, more than anything, to cleanse it of all pain and suffering. I could not help but fall for him. But my time continued to tick away. Those 10 years passed by in a flash. Yet I did not want to leave his side, so I...
Oh no, what happened next?
I
Yeah.
committed an offense. I wanted to stay with him, even if it meant living a life full of pain and suffering, even if it meant that I would eventually turn
What kind of
into a
offense are they
monstrosity.
talking about?
I
Or is she
knew
talking
I had
about?
betrayed Master's hopes, but I was too ashamed to face her. So I wrote her a long letter instead and asked someone to leave it outside her
And
abode.
Master obviously refers to her? To Xianyun?
I was
Maybe?
convinced that she would not support my decision, and I lacked the courage to speak to her face to face. In my shame, I fled and tried to hide from the world, such that no one would be able to find me again.
So she just left both sides.
But that was only the beginning of my troubles. I began to suffer from a strange illness. My memories became hazy and confused, and I could no longer keep myself awake. I understood that my pain was caused by my refusal to return to the life I was fated to lead.
So does that mean that as long as she just, becomes that crane again, everything's fine?
Along with my
or what?
memories as a crane, I soon forgot the true cause of my suffering as well. I knew only that I had committed a sin. All I could do was pray for forgiveness, even if I had
Or
long
how does
forgotten what
this
needed
work?
to be forgiven.
That's something I would like to know right now.
Looking back, I was beyond lucky to have come across that traveling merchant at Wangshu Inn. It was such a fortunate coincidence that we were there at the same time. If it weren't for those soul-revitalizing tea pills, I probably would have...
Granny, what's wrong?
Did someone just reacted to something?
Why did I ever think it was a coincidence? Tea pills concocted using the blood of an adeptus? No.
Yeah, okay, Xianyun had her hands in this.
Don't tell me.
Like, how would you even get the blood of the
merchant was
adapters? Not really. I don't think that's something you would really be able to access.
Human custom would dictate the conferral of gifts to be in order when one's progeny is wedded, would it not? Consider the pills a symbol of one's best wishes.
So when I tried to conceal my name and mistakes from the world and hide myself away in perpetuity, the only person I managed to deceive was myself. You knew where I was all along.
Well, I feel like you can't really fool her in that sense.
One still remembers when you were but a fledgling. You possessed a certain fondness for a particular game. You would hide yourself among a group of wild cranes and ask one to pick you out from among the flock. One found you with such ease every time. 'Tis a truth most evident. One always recognizes one's own, no matter what form they may take.
Which we've seen before.
Wait.
In this chapter, even.
So, Cloud Retainer, you found Yuendai again? But how? When? And what happened after that?
Perhaps it is now time for one to recount the rest of the tale.
Oh, follow the memories. So we are switching to Xianyun specifically. Follow the memories.
One was furious upon receiving your letter. Seized with anger, one set out to bring you to your senses.
What is that in the background? I guess we'll see in a moment, but still. Hang on, how far can we go? That appears to be the limit for now, at least. Interesting, what is that? It's a bridge of some sort. How far can we go up here? Okay, that's the limit here as well. Unfortunately. Oh, yeah, that's not what I'm supposed to look at, I think. Right. I'm supposed to look at that. Which looks... Oh, that's the inn. That's the inn, I think. Oh, hang on. Can we somehow make our way? I don't think we really can, unfortunately. Oh, hang on. Yeah, we can't really access much, unfortunately. There's an invisible barrier, it seems, all the way around. So, not much we can do. Would have loved to explore this because it looks interesting to me, at least. The way they separated this out. But we are supposed to go. Oh. Oh, what? Oh, I completely missed that thing. Okay, never mind. Am I supposed to jump onto that boat?
In truth, one had more than a few misgivings about your chosen partner. As an exorcist, his talent was lacking. One could hardly say his skill with sigils was any better. But soon, one came to appreciate the devotion he bestowed upon you during your illness. He never uttered a complaint and rarely left your side.
I do usually enjoy, like,
unwilling to begrudge
trying to
someone of such
go out of bounds
character,
of things, but
one decided
unfortunately,
to overlook his
they are
aforementioned
smart.
deficiencies, glaring though they may have been. Wishing to grant you a life without regrets, one gathered many divine ingredients and used one's own blood to create a form of medicine. Though imperfect, it managed to suppress the more dire effects of your illness. As for how to deliver the medicine, after much contemplation, one eventually decided
So that was
to perform
her.
the deed oneself. One took great care to alter one's features and select the
Okay,
appropriate attire.
I feel like that picture is
Only
slightly
after
funny.
meticulous scrutiny did one
Just got
finally
herself
set out
a
for Wang's
moustache
Shu Inn.
of sorts.
As one expected, you were most ignorant of one's true identity. You showed not even the slightest inkling of recognition. One was quite torn.
I feel like she
Should
probably
one have
wasn't even really
celebrated
able
the
to at
success
this
of one's
point.
disguise, or mourn the loss of your acquaintance.
Now we can continue on. Follow the memories to find the truth. Could I jump down there? I probably could, but let's just move on. What do we have there? It's a mountain, I think. They certainly closed off the map nicely. Did I just jump on that?
Nevertheless, one would speak to you about another matter, if you are amenable, even considering your loss of memory. One...
Why? Just out of curiosity, I think it's interesting how she just randomly starts like jumping as if she was diving. Which is a little strange. Unfortunately now that meant I skipped the voice line. I don't think I can jump onto the rock. Nope. I cannot. Just wondering though, what exactly am I... Oh! Nope. Gotta try again. Am I just supposed to use an ultimate, or like her skill or something? I could also try and use this tree. Okay, maybe not.
Skyward!
Or just that. I see. Right. That is also a way. Not quite the way I had in mind, but I'll take it. And that's the house and the barrier end. Okay, hang on. I feel like that implies that she was here. The reason the barrier stood is because she took care of them, I guess. So even though she did do her sin, Xianyun certainly always took care of her. Ultimate time. Luckily for us, there is some we are given the character. Here we go. Number 2.
Those monsters would hardly have pursued you with such ferocity without sufficient incentive. They were likely incited by the presence of godly remains. Said godly remains, in turn, were likely drawn to the trace of one scent on your body. One was, after all, an active participant in the Archon War. Some of the gods were likely shattered by contraptions of one's very making. In the end, one was relieved.
Still looking forward to whenever we'll actually get into the whole Canaria topic.
One heard an infant's cry
I do think the story is becoming interesting.
Saw you carefully cradle the child to your
chest. We'll see how that continues.
To see you happy. That was
but yeah, this confirms that Xianyun surprisingly or obviously took quite a bit of care, even though she was, I guess, not really officially done with them anymore. I'm trying to look in if you can see the inn from behind there, but I don't think we really can. Or maybe we can, actually. Yeah, but I think we can see the bridge. I think the bridge is right there. You can see that. But not everything else, unfortunately, because it's right behind the mountain. Right, time to continue to spot number 3.
Now you should have a complete understanding of the events.
Wait, but if that's true, then the crane who took care of me when I was sick must also be...
Her.
One had almost neglected to recount the absurdities of that tale.
Well, I mean, it's gotta have to be... Well, actually, no. The crane that she mentioned was her form, wasn't it? Oh, we're now in Liyue. Unfortunately, once again, a cut-down version of Liyue. Even though I would love to explore whatever they put here. But unfortunately, we can't really do that. I do think they certainly got some interesting vibes here, though. I'm just wondering, as usual, if there's anything around, but I don't think there is. Well, that's the restaurant. We can go... Oh, there is an invisible wall right in within the restaurant. Didn't expect that. And we're not supposed to go too off track, I guess. Fortunately. Can't go to the cavern. All we can do is go to the zone.
Just as you and I troubled one with her antics, so did you give one many a headache. Upon finding you burning with fever, one made plans to bring you back to one's abode for treatment. However, upon seeing one's form, you began to cry, refusing to get on one's back. When one asked you why, apparently you believed that one could not possibly be a true Adeptus, because all illuminated cranes are white from tip to toe. One had no choice
What in the
but to apply
world?
powder to one's body to conceal the variegated nature of one's appearance. You became more than amenable enough when one stood before you devoid of any other coloring.
So did she believe that that she's all white, and that's not really the case? But
it bears mentioning, however,
interesting.
that as a crane, you and I was nearly entirely pure white in color. Though you had never encountered her in that form, you still recognize the essence of her being.
That's interesting.
Perhaps fate brought you two together in more ways than one.
So, well, you do have interesting things here. So, she recognized, I guess, the bird in it
now all
by
has
itself.
been revealed.
But let's see.
One owes you an apology, you and I. One recognized you upon your very entrance into one mean restaurant. One has always viewed you as a disciple of equal standing with Ganyu
Obviously.
and Shenhe. Indeed, one wished to bring
Xianyun recognized her, and she also recognized her-ish. Just not quite.
Still, one could not reveal your identity right away. Had one simply informed you of all you had lost, all those cherished memories would merely have become...
But what's gonna come
fictionalized
out of
account
this?
another. Memories are most meaningful when recalled by those who lived through them. Would you not agree? Even if the process was painful and arduous to experience. Have you any further inquiries?
Master, I must ask, if you found me all those years ago, why did you leave me be, even though you knew about my mistake? Why did you not bring me back to Mount Outsong by force?
One has never regarded your action as a mistake. It was a simple choice, nothing more. When it is time for one's progeny to leave the nest, it is the responsibility of an elder to let them fly free. Yet, when your wings grow weary and the night grows dark...
But it still makes me wonder what actually happens if she does return? Because it sounded like she was like... She was a crane for ages, I think?
It is a refuge referred to by many a name in mortal
Correct me if I'm
writing.
wrong, to be honest, but
Home,
I felt like
nest,
that might
haven.
have been the case.
Whatever its denomination may be, its essence remains quite unchanged. One speaks, of course, of a place not unlike one's own abode. One's disciples are free to come and go as they wish, Yet the door remains forever open to those who wish to return. One rather hopes you count yourself among them.
Thank you. I just...
It's like, I feel like that
so
would be the
much.
crucial thing, or like the interesting thing.
You and I. One expects you too have sensed the rapid deterioration of your condition as of late. Have you not? 40 years ago, you chose a path without a future. Though one used one's own blood to provide you with a few decades of extra time,
That implies that
merely
she
delayed the
began 50
inevitable.
years ago, and
One may have extended
40
the
years ago
path,
would have been when the
yet one
choice
was
is up.
unable to alter its final destination. Even the power of an Adeptus has its limits. Had your condition continued to deteriorate, you would have forgotten your life as a human entirely. In the end, you would have turned into a creature lacking in the ability to even comprehend.
And obviously
its
she
own
is
monstrousness.
old, I guess. I mean,
Fortunately, you were able to avoid that scenario by reclaiming your memories. Though one sped the process along by providing some guidance, the result is entirely a reflection of your own effort.
So, what's gonna happen to Granny?
that's something I am interested in. Like, what exactly
One will
would
help her
happen?
reclaim her original form as a wild crane. If it be fated, she may recover her sentience.
And does
one
that mean
day.
as a crane she can't just, like, stay? Or, like, she becomes, like, long living
She's
again?
gotta go back
Or
to being a
what
regular
exactly is the
crane,
issue?
huh?
Or what exactly is the thing? Is there no other
Master.
way?
You've already done more than enough for me. I don't know how I could possibly repay your kindness. This is a better result than I could have ever hoped for. How much time do I have left?
Not long. The transformation is imminent.
So basically say goodbye and that's about it.
Granny, please don't leave, okay? You're all I have left. Please.
Don't be
Well, it
sad,
sounds like
dear
she's not gonna
child.
leave. She's just
Granny
gonna
has
turn
led
into a
wonderful life.
crane. That's about
My
it,
only
I
regret
think.
is having to leave you behind.
In the meanwhile, Twitch chat, hello Sophia, how are you? I'm doing fine, how about you?
Don't forget to eat well, okay? A growing young lady like yourself needs lots of good food.
Right, in
to
the
grow
meanwhile, let's
big
go
and
back to the
strong.
game for a
Promise
moment.
Granny you'll take good care of yourself when I'm gone.
Also, I'm gonna guess that she is going to just see a crane all the time around.
Good girl.
Because, like, I don't think she will be
Good
gone,
girl.
from my understanding.
Don't
She's just
worry.
gonna
It's
turn
not
back into a
goodbye
crane.
forever. Granny's gonna become the most formidable crane in all of Mount Outsung.
Although I wonder if
Granny
that
will
means she
train
can at
day
some
and
point
night.
turn back?
I won't
Is that a
stop
thing?
until I can turn
I
into
do
a
not
human
know,
without having
be honest.
rely on anything but my own power. When that day comes, we'll be able to live together again. You and
Right,
I.
yeah. There
How's
we
that
see.
sound?
So it sounds like she can at some point return back to being a human.
That's a
Just
good
not
girl.
right now.
Even though we won't see each other for
Also
a
in the
while,
meanwhile, Sophia,
as
yes,
long
I am
as we
here. I
both
did
work
reply to
hard,
you.
We're sure to meet again someday.
I'll eat well, Granny. I promise. And I'll wait for you, no matter how long it takes. I'll wait for you to come back.
That's a good girl.
Which I'm hoping won't be
Then
too
Granny
long for
really
them,
has no
personally.
more regrets. I'm so sorry.
I gotta
Master.
say though, interesting timing for you and I and Xianyun to meet somehow. In the meanwhile, Twitch chat, yeah, if you want to, my Discord username is identical to my Twitch username. But please keep in mind that I am not interested in any sort of commissions right now. Right, awkward timing for that one. But we did see... Interesting that she flew away, though. I didn't expect that.
Let her be. At her age, crying
I thought she
is
would just
natural, if
turn
not
into a
fitting
crane and that was
response to such
it.
an event.
And like
Tears are a
stay
necessary
around or
part of
something. But
maturation.
it doesn't look like
Sometimes there is
it.
scarcely a better vehicle to wash away the toll of stress and misery. Now that the issue has been resolved, you should also take a moment to relax. Give yourself some time to rest. Take a nap if you must. One will wake you in due time.
Not gonna do that yet, to be honest. Oh, cutscene, it seems. Not really expected, but... Well, to be fair, I think at least every story usually at least has one. We're certainly gonna see the rain come back though, right? I would think so at least. Yeah, there it is. I didn't expect her to return back into that soon. I was about to say, what is the trailer thinking of? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Gotta keep in mind that's still something we are seeing, or...
I always believed we would see each other again.
This
That our
makes
days of
more
separation would
sense
finally
if you
end.
played as it came out, which
all my troubles
isn't
would
really
be
what
behind
we're doing right now. I'm still hoping that whatever, or that we're getting more with the traveler and its sibling in the proper, well, in the current non-Kai story. I think I'm at least hoping that. Still, I have mentioned that before. We have gotten something in the not-Kai story at least, but I would at least hope we'll get
If you're
more.
relaxed, shouldn't your dreams be pleasant?
It was a good dream. It's just...
You weren't ready to wake up.
Are they gonna have a talk about what? Actually, where's Paimon? I think we just saw her in the corner.
Eloquent as one may be, words of comfort are not one's strong suit. You are doing all you can. One can see your strength of will, your fearlessness in the face of danger. And so, whatever your dream may
But yeah,
be,
still hoping
one
that we'll get
believes that
more
you shall
of
achieve it.
the traveler and
course,
sibling in
whenever the
whatever
perils
we're
of
gonna
fate
see
overwhelm
in Notkai.
Or you become weary, one is always here for you. After all, as an elder, it is only right to look out for the young ones.
And of course, Paimon just randomly goes back to the topic of food. In the meanwhile, Twitch chat, yep, thank you. I'll accept it after the stream. Although I do not appear to have gotten one. Just saying.
to talking to you. Paimon had a dream about eating grilled chicken drumsticks, that's all.
So the troll had a story about its, had a dream about its sibling, while Paimon had a dream about its food. About food in general.
Oh, Xianyun, you're awake. How do you feel?
But it feels like people generally had nice dreams.
I feel a little better. Thanks.
Oh, I
know I'll
see. We may
Granny
have seen
again
a
someday,
dream.
so I don't feel
Then
so sad anymore.
that makes sense.
Madam Adeptus, could I ask you something? Would you take me in as a disciple?
Oh, and have you reasons for this sudden interest?
Well, probably the fact that her granny just turned into a crane.
I know Granny thought what she did back then was wrong. She felt really bad about it. But without that mistake, I would have never been born. Even though Granny lost her memories, she never forgot to show me how much she loved me. So, I thought maybe one day I could become a cool Adeptus like you and help a whole bunch of people, just like Granny wanted to do.
Upon some reflection, one supposes you are no mere mortal. The fact that Yuendai's blood flows through your veins is proof enough of that. If this is what you desire, one shall make it so.
Oh, what is that supposed to mean?
Madam Adeptus?
It sounds like there's a...
I mean...
Or...
Master.
Xianyun, are you sure about this? Paimon's gonna
I
let
mean,
you in on
it
a little
sounds
secret. We've seen
nice.
Avatainer's 2 other disciples, and they pretty much eat nothing but bitter herbs like chinchin and violet grass.
Sounds slightly awkward to say that right next to the person.
If you join them, you'll never enjoy One Min Restaurant's delicious cooking ever again.
Oh, and I'm not quite... I don't think that's true.
How utterly preposterous. One has never enforced such
Considering
a rule.
one of them is literally working at that restaurant.
Every individual must find their own path to enlightenment. So long as one retains a pureness of spirit, one's dietary proclivities are quite irrelevant.
Well, you say that, but Paimon's not seeing any tasty treats up here now, is she?
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Although Mount Outsong is rich in natural beauty, its location does preclude access to certain finer mortal comforts.
And also, I feel like if you're visiting someone's home, and if they're not eating snacks, then they usually don't have snacks around, right? So, like...
That is precisely why one plans to relocate to Liyue Harbor. Shu Yu shall have the honor of becoming one's first disciple in the human world.
So that's why she asked. She asked about specifically, like, maybe moving there. That why you took on this human form.
One has never concerned oneself with the location of one's residence. From the very beginning, one has sought only solace and peace. Yet in the end, all of one's disciples ended up in Liyue Harbor. Ganyu, Shenhe, Yuendai, they all chose a life among the mortal world. One has reflected on this fact for many years now. One can only assume that it is due to some failing on one's part as an elder or master. A failing, perhaps, of recognizing what it was they truly wanted. One is most curious as to what aspect of Liyue Harbor could have enticed them to remain there. One could hardly offer an opinion on the matter.
Well, I guess in terms of humans would usually, you know, at least, or... Humans rarely live, at least, I guess, alone, so there's that.
Why are you all
well,
so silent?
alone by themselves, like, alone in flats, that's more common, but like people live in like these cities, of course, so if you want some kind of if you want job opportunities and so on, so that may be
One has precious little time
why
to squander.
As an
However,
example.
if one finds oneself otherwise unoccupied, one would not be opposed to the idea. One will be assuming the identity
What is she
of a
even
human while
doing?
residing in Liyue Harbor.
If she finds
You
herself
should take care to
unoccupied,
avoid
that
disclosing
kind of
one's true
implies that
identity.
if she isn't busy, you know, which I feel like she probably is anyway.
Don't worry, we'll help you keep it a secret.
Right.
So, when can we expect to start seeing you in the city?
Perhaps in 2 days' time. One has some matters to
Something
see
to
to
note
before
on
one's
when do we
departure.
see you in the city?
Preparation is the key to
I
success,
do like the
after all.
fact, from my
One plans to put up various
understanding,
items from one's collection
it's
for
now
sale.
possible to
Earnings
meet
should
characters,
provide
at
for a
least in
comfortable living in
Nordkaitis.
Liyue Harbor.
It's possible to occasionally meet the people on the actual map, I think.
One has
The
already
playable
picked out a
characters
handsome property
specifically.
near Chuhu Rock. 'Tis no small purchase, but
I would much
what is more to
appreciate if
life not
that's,
one
you know,
expense
more
after another?
common across the entire game.
Seems like
Because
you've
it kind
really
of
thought
gives the
everything.
game a bit more, you know, like... It makes the game more lively, that's what I'm trying to say.
Meet up in Liyue Harbor in 2 days.
A
Sure.
sensible plan. See you then. Oh, also, why don't you take this suspensus somnium mechanism as a souvenir? Anytime you should feel ill at ease in the future, you may try quieting your mind and sitting in meditation as you listen to its melodies. It might help you find a new perspective.
Awesome!
Sounds like something nice to keep in the teapot.
Hey, didn't we promise Shincho that we'd tell him what we found out?
Yep, it is for the teapot. Anyway,
Should we make a trip to the Xianyun Commerce Guild? It's totally up to you.
hang on, we can still interact with her. Let's do that again.
So, about your move to Liyue Harbor, you gonna tell the other Adepti about it?
Hopefully?
I have left an explanatory note in my abode. Those 2 old fossils will discover it, I am sure, should they come seeking my company. Considering their recent penchant for going off on private escapades, however, I find myself caring little for how they shall receive this news.
She's not happy with them, I say. And now what if we interact with Shuyu?
By the way, Shuyu, we have a friend who helped us learn a lot of information about your granny. Is it okay if we tell him the full story?
Sure. I don't think Granny would mind. As long as you don't tell a whole bunch of people.
About
I don't
that...
think she'd want too many people to know. They might go to Mount Outsong and start bugging her about it. Granny needs to focus on her training, you know? But telling a friend or two is probably fine.
No worries, our friend can keep a secret.
I'd hope so, at least. Right. So that means we now gotta go to... Wait until 2 days, and then we can interact with Thingy. I forgot his name, so just gonna ignore that. Right. Don't want me doing that. And then just let's skip 2 days, and then we'll be able to talk to Xiangqiu. Xiangqiu? Chinese name. And then talk to her like that. Right. Go to Liyue Harbor and seek Xianyun, actually. No mind. There we go. Gotta go onto the other side from Cavern, it seems. I think. Here we go. There they are. She's talking
Your
with
concerns
someone.
Are excessive and unfounded. This is but a simple collection of ordinary valuables. Such intense scrutiny is hardly necessary.
To be quite honest, your insistence on that fact is my primary cause for concern. In what way are any of these ordinary? Every single item here could be worth
Is she
more than
trying to
everything
decorate
I
her
own
room or
combined.
like her home
I
or
simply can't
something?
risk
Is
shelling
that
out
what's
kind of
going on
aura
here?
Without proper scrutiny. If I'm wrong, I would never be able to earn it back. Not even if I worked every single day for the rest of my life. I have to be careful. Yes, you can never be too careful.
We're here, Clout. Miss Xianyun
Paimon once again nearly spills the beans.
Ah, perfect timing. This ignoramus
Why?
is questioning the authenticity of my wares. I'll have you know, these items have remained untouched in my personal collection for several hundred years. To question
No,
their
so
legitimacy
no,
is
never
pure
mind.
folly.
She's trying to sell things.
Several hundred years?
Indeed. They're family heirlooms.
And now
you
she
see,
nearly spills the
passed down
beans
over
herself.
Many generations, as families are wont to do.
Yep, they've definitely been around a while. We can vouch for her on that one.
Don't dig too deep into who this person is, please.
Hear that? Had I not found myself in need of Mora, I would scarcely have had the heart to part with them. Indeed, you should consider it an honor to even have the opportunity to behold them with your own eyes. Doubt their authenticity any further, and I may just decide to take them to another buyer.
Whoa, please don't go! I apologize for any insult, miss. You see, I know full well that I lack the knowledge to judge the true worth of these items.
He suddenly switches quite,
I've
like...
hired an expert to appraise them for me.
He switches
It
quite
should be here
quickly.
shortly.
An expert, you say? Very well. I will wait for a little while longer then. Traveler, Paimon, this is my new residence. If you have cause to seek my company in the future, this is where you can find me.
Where? That house? Or, like, what exactly?
Oh, it's you two again.
Or is it this house? Or is it that small one? I guess we'll have a closer look in a moment.
Great on you.
Mm-hmm. Master made it for me. I like it too.
Huh? You know how to make clothes?
Do I know how to make clothes? With the support of the proper mechanism, sewing is hardly a challenge.
Master, I brought in most of my stuff. There's a few boxes left, but they're kind of heavy, so...
Oh, so they're living together?
Fret not. I shall help you move them into your
Well,
room.
that's... I feel like that's cool, though. That she ends up deciding to take her
sort through
on.
my stuff a bit first. Everything's kind of messy right now, so maybe you could, not look yet, Master?
But it would have been awkward to have her living alone as well, considering she's still a child.
It appears my young apprentice has her own fair share of secrets. No matter. Do what you must, child. Now, this expert you mentioned. When can we expect their arrival?
Okay, based on the fact that this other host is, like, down another set of chairs, it's gotta be this one, then.
Soon. Ah, there he is!
Is it so... Watch it be someone we know.
Here, allow me to make some introductions.
Yep, okay,
This
never mind.
is Mr. Zhang Li, a well-respected consultant at Wangshang Funeral Parlor and an expert in all manner of valuables and antiques.
Who else could it have been, really?
Mr. Zhang Li, this is Miss Xianyun. She's the one who's looking to sell the collection of valuables I mentioned earlier.
What is he going to say? Oh, he probably knows who she even is. Yeah.
If it isn't Miss Xianyun. It has been quite some time since our last meeting. What?
Oops, sorry.
Indeed, most serendipitous. Have you been faring well as of late, Mr. Zhang Li?
Totally not an awkward conversation.
Quite well, thank you. I was fortunate enough over the past few days to enjoy both a stroll in the mountains and a fresh brew of tea from the most recent harvest. The experiences left me with such insight and peace.
Huh. So you two are already acquainted?
Well, if you're living for like what 500 years, that I feel like that's kind of a given.
Indeed. How fortunate we are that fate has brought us together again. If you are otherwise unaware, allow me to inform you that Miss Xianyun is a well-regarded collector and appraiser. She is well-versed in all fields, and oft-celebrated for her impeccable taste. You stand to
Can I
gain
just
much
bring up
from
the
this
fact that
opportunity.
Zhang Li's, I believe, usually, well, I believe he's poor for a reason, right? I think that was a thing where we didn't really want to have or like make more in the first place.
Themselves on their wealth of knowledge and eye for detail. I can say without a doubt that you are foremost in that regard.
Why, you flatter
It would
me,
be
Miss
kind of
Xianyun.
funny if they ended up being
It would
like,
seem that you
oh
are
yeah,
as
this is
self-effacing
like
as ever.
very important stuff. This is very very expensive stuff, and even though it actually isn't at all,
Not at all, Mr. Zhongli.
would be
Not at all.
funny if I'm honest. Yep.
While I am loath to butt into this conversation, I must ask, you two already knew each other, and you seem to have quite a cordial relationship. Can I be certain that you're not working together to swindle me? I mean, you never know.
I mean, if they were trying to do it on
Preposterous
purpose,
accusation. The heavens themselves would collapse before we would
yeah, if they were trying to do that on purpose, they would have made more efforts to hide that they know each other.
Miss Xianyun speaks the truth. Contracts are built on honesty and trust. If that proves to be beyond your capabilities in this instance, this transaction may be taken elsewhere.
Say no more. Let us depart.
I jest. What fool would still harbor doubts after Mr. Zhongli himself has vouched for the
Oh,
goods?
he's
Miss
being
Xianyun,
like,
Miss Xianyun, wait.
he's getting interested at the fact that I seriously would not be surprised if they end up being like, yeah, this is definitely very expensive stuff she has right there.
I deeply apologize for doubting you. So, Mr. Zhongli, could you please give me a final verdict on the value of these items?
10 billion more.
There is no cause for concern.
I think.
They are indeed rare and precious valuables. Take this mechanism, for instance. Though one may not immediately perceive its purpose, its structure and appearance are exquisite enough to merit it a place in any fine home.
What is it, though?
The same can be said for this one here. Few could hope to possess an item that so perfectly blends mechanical
what is
wonder
it, though?
with geometric grace.
Just wondering.
I am sure you have heard from your travels that the study of mechanisms is among the most wondrous arts in this world. With that in mind, I earnestly recommend procuring every last item in this collection.
All right. Since I hired you as my consultant, Mr. Zhongli, I shall, of course, trust your good opinion. Then, in that case, Miss Xianyun, I'll take the lot. However, since the final sum is quite large, how about we start with an initial deposit through the Northland Bank?
The Northland Bank? Huh. Oh, you refer to the fiduciary house. Oh, very well.
Totally not sponsored by the Fatui.
I fear people only use the term bank nowadays. In that case, I'll be off for now. I'll return to collect the goods once you've received the funds.
I guess oh, that makes sense now. If you consider the fact that she's been on that mountain for ages and usually doesn't really take steps into like the into Lear Harbor and basically the modern world as a result, that explains why she's talking like this, right? Or at least in my opinion, that kind of explains it.
My friends, have you been doing well?
We've been great. How about you? Paimon didn't know you were such a busy consultant.
My days have been quite pleasant as well. I had been quietly enjoying a cup of tea when Mr. Xiaozu requested my services. As for you, Miss Xianyun, I presume you must be looking to settle in the city?
I must say, the name Xianyun sounds exceedingly strange coming from you. Perhaps you could dispense of that particular epithet in further conversation.
You are in the middle of the city though, so like...
Whatever for. Am I not addressing you as a friend should?
I feel like if you're trying to like fit into the city, you should always be called Xianyun,
Well,
but...
that is true,
That's just
but...
my opinion.
Alas, refer to me however you will. After all, a name exists such that others may address you with it. One is hardly ignorant of that fact.
It would seem that you have gained many valuable insights over the years, Cloud Retainer.
One has indeed. One's previous stays were all brief. Now that one has made up one's mind to move and settle, one has gained a much better appreciation of the hubbub and commotion of the city, as well as the people's hard work and ardor. This city is much changed from how it was more than 1,000 years ago.
Not unlike the ocean tides, so too shall the movement of people ebb and flow. From turmoil to peace, enlightenment to aspiration. Human society possesses limitless potential. In another 1,000 years, the scene we witness here may change in ways that are impossible for either of us to imagine.
Alright, that's enough reflection for one day. No need to get all sentimental on us.
No, I would like to know more, to be honest.
You make a valid point, Paimon. Now that the sale has concluded, what say one plays the
Although
host
I'm
as we
still
try
yet
some
to go
specialty
through a
dishes
ton
together?
more
One
stories.
must profess great interest in trying bamboo shoot soup.
Perhaps you have forgotten, Cloud Retainer, but I once tried my hand at that dish. You were at the table on that occasion, so logic dictates that you should have already tried it.
Oh?
Oh? What occasion was this?
It was a reunion between friends several centuries ago. Alas, you must have been too preoccupied to secure yourself a portion. Or perhaps our other companions simply availed themselves
I feel like
of faster
you
reflexes
just
on
simply
that
wouldn't
occasion.
like remember all the entire, like all the different kinds of foods you were eating like 500 years ago, to be honest.
'Twas most certainly out of consideration for the others in
So I would not be
attendance.
surprised if
In but a
you...
moment, one will show you
Like,
what
I
it means
don't
to have
even know
true
what
deafness
I
of
ate
hand.
yesterday.
It is settled then. Bamboo shoot soup, mora meat, crab roe tofu, triple layered consommé. We shall enjoy the lot.
Yeah, she's basically eating the entire
One has
table.
already passed word to Xianyun Character to make a reservation. It is prime time for them to meet one's newest disciple. Is that agreeable to everyone?
It should be a most splendid
I hope they
occasion.
have stocked up on a ton of these items, resources, and whatever they need.
Come now, it is time to dine.
I would hope so, at least.
This gentleman over
Because
here is Mr. Zhang
Xianyun will certainly
He
try
is,
everything, and if Paimon is coming along, yeah, good luck.
A humble employee of Wangsheng Funeral Parlor. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Nice to meet you too, Mr. Zhengli.
And just casually the Geo Archon, but we're not talking about that.
Sounds good. Actually, Master, have you ever tried Adeptus' temptation? I heard it's impossible to stop eating after even just one bite. You know, 'cause it's super tempting and stuff. Is that true?
That sounds rather implausible. Although with the right preparation, certain dishes can be too delicious to resist.
Huh? Why are you all walking so fast? Hey, wait for Paimon!
You can fly along. Paimon totally could have like catched up if she wanted to be honest. Well, that is the chapter done. And oh wait, hang on. What is that letter? What seems like a book of accounts, a letter can also be found inside. Little you, my dear daughter, by the time you read this, Mommy and Daddy will have already left to go on a long journey. Your granny may get a little forgetful sometimes, so try to jot down little reminders for her around the house whenever you can. Mommy and Daddy are counting on you to take care of Granny while we're gone. You might be wondering why Mommy and Daddy have to leave. Well, my dear daughter, in this world, everyone's got something they just have to do. Your mom and dad are no different. Did you know Dad was actually awfully sick as a child? How sick, you might ask? Well, even a doctor could barely feel Daddy's pulse. It was that weak. But Dad still managed to grow up. Looking back, there were many times when Dad thought he might not make it. In the end, though, Daddy pushed through every time. Pretty amazing if you think about it. Maybe Dad is just really lucky. Or who knows? Maybe he has some super powerful adapters looking out for him. Huh? Maybe. Either way, Daddy has always felt like he's received a lot of love from this world. And you know what? Daddy loves this word right back. They told Daddy that his mission would be super dangerous, but both Mom and Dad decided to sign up. You'll have grown quite a bit taller the next time Mom and Daddy see you again. Maybe you'll be so big by then that Mom and Dad won't even be able to recognize you. How about this? Let's use a code. Do you still remember that one phrase that he taught you when you were little? That can be our secret code the next time we see each other again. That way, we'll recognize each other no matter what. You do remember it, don't you? While the militive stands guard, evil shall never prevail. And, well, that is an unsigned letter that appears to be staying around now. And, well, from my understanding, that's gonna be where... Oh, it's this guy, never mind. That's where they'll be staying. Why is there no light in that one room? Well, okay, to be fair, multiple rooms don't have a light. Well, anyway. We have reached the end of the chapter. Of course, it was a little cut off at the beginning, but in the end, I think we still got most of it done. Still, quite a nice story. To be fair, or a beautiful story, I would say. Well, regardless, that was the end for today. In terms of upcoming streams, make sure to tune in tomorrow for more punishing, because the next chapter is unlocked and we can get it started tomorrow. And also, I do have another stream to catch up on. We do still have a Sandless story to go through as well. That'll happen on Saturday or Sunday or whenever I'll have time to complete these, then I'll do that. And other than that, of course, we'll just have to see for more content ready. What else we could do next week. I need to have a look at that. Maybe it's the time to also try some other stuff again. We'll see about that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the stream, then of course please leave a like, follow, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And other than that, I hope I see you again tomorrow. And apart from that, I wish you a very great rest of your day or night or whatever else you'll be doing next. I'll see you tomorrow.
Ha! Adventurer! Think you can last a round against me?